there! Thanks for joining me again. In this short video, I want to discuss the recent confusion on the government fees for filing a temporary resident permit. Recently, there has been a change on the government fees for your TRP applications, where your first TRP application, whether it's submitted at the port of entry or the consulate, you do not require to include a $200 government fee. Meaning, if you go to the port of entry with all your documentation and you ask the port of entry officer for a temporary resident permit and the officer agrees to issue this for you, you do not need to pay the $200 government fee. And the same applies if this is your first application being filed at the consulate. It is our recommendation that you still, when you file an application to the consulate, still make a mention of this government fee. Put it on your cover letter, mention that this is the first TRP that you're applying for, and for that reason you did not include the government fees. You want to make sure that it's very clear and upfront to that officer. If you do want to include the government fees, just to save yourself from minor hassles in the future, the officer may make the error of thinking that you didn't submit the government fees and return your application. You can include the government fees and then include in your cover letter that this is your first time applying for the temporary resident permit, and if the officer doesn't require the $200 government fees, to refund it back to you and send it back to your mailing address. So again, it is our recommendation to still include it because human errors still happen, so you don't have that extra hassle of resubmitting the application and re-explaining why you didn't submit the government fees, and then just add a cover letter explaining why you've included it and request that refund should the officer see that being fit. If you go to the port of entry, you also want to make mention to the immigration officer that this is the first application and to waive that government fees for you. The government fees has to be issued to the Receiver General for Canada. It's a $200 government fees right now. They may change that, they may increase that. You can keep up to date with our website. We'll let you know as soon as that change does occur. But for now, for your first TRP application, whether it's at the border or consulate, the government fees is waived. Remember, for subsequent TRP applications, it is mandatory to include the government fees. I hope that clarifies that minor confusions. Until next time.